past the creaky metal gates, through the fog-enveloped graveyard, you find yourself on the rickety old porch of a long-forgotten home. Beyond the threshold sits a man obsessed, a tortured soul, cursed to discover all about the Southern California haunt community and beyond. You have now entered the domain of the Creepcast with Rick Creeper.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back at it. The Creepcast podcast hosted by Rick Creeper 11. We're back at it with episode 19 with a man that I personally worked for, admired, and gone to for advice. To me, he's the big boss man. I always call him that. It's it's Jeff Schiefelbein. Jeff, did I pronounce that right?
You got it. Nailed it.
Jeff Schiefelbein, a.k.a. Sinister Jeff, owner, operator, producer, director of Sinister Pointe Productions based here in Southern California. God, you've been around since, 2007, I believe?
Way before that, but yeah, I think Sinister Pointe, the name Sinister Pointe is 2007, I think, yeah.
Okay, yeah. For those that don't know Sinister Pointe, because we have people out of state, how would you narrow it down what exactly Sinister Pointe does, or what kind of company are there? I know you do haunt attractions as well, but I'm looking at your resume, and you've done things from special effects, custom set designs, props, things from amusement parks, other haunt attractions as well. I mean, how would you explain on Sinister Pointe in a nutshell?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I have no idea. Kind of, I guess, jack of all trade. I'm a production designer. I've gotten hired for, I fell into the haunt industry kind of by accident. Of course, I always loved doing haunts, but I typically was just a set builder. So I did, a lot of music videos, sets and props and decorating and stuff like that. And then, of course, I was a fan of haunted houses. And then by doing my own haunted, people seeing that we do haunted houses. So I just started doing more haunt related stuff than other stuff. But generally just a production designer, set builder is really kind of my background of where I came from.
So did the set designer builder came first, and then did the madman behind the haunt attractions?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been, I've built a haunted house since I was 16 years old every Halloween.
Okay.
But yes, during the year and stuff, my actual work and stuff was random prop design and things for all different kinds of things, amusement parks, like I said, music. I did a lot of music videos. I have friends that are directors and stuff that got into the music video industry a while back, and then he would bring me on to do a lot of that stuff. So
okay,
so I feel like just a general, set builder, prop maker was kind of my general bread and butter.
I will say this. I mean, from being the guy that does everything, I've seen you go from, handling customer service on the phone, talking to other trades, other people, working working the table saw, painting, everything. And I was like, okay, he does everything from the ground up pretty much. And it's like, I remember you're like, hey, get on the table saw. I'm like, I've never used my background's electrical. I'm a dude that built, networks, install fire alarm systems, and worked at a little electrical. And you're like, hey, I need you to cut that. I'm like, I've never done before. They're like, well, you're gonna learn today. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like,
there you go.
So yeah, but I never knew that you started doing set design prior to really going full blown with the haunt attractions.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've dabbled in everything. I mean, I come from a family of general contractors, so at a really young age, I knew and learned electrical and how to build houses from the ground up and plumbing and everything. So I've been around that my whole life. So that's kind of where it all stemmed from. And then just doing that, of course, I had a passion for the entertainment industry. So I figured I'd use my skill set to try to do stuff more, around music and film.
Okay, this
is
why
amusement parks.
This is why you're able to do stuff to produce year round. You're not just strictly focusing on the haunt industry. You're working movie, music, and so forth.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How in the hell did you even end up starting in this industry as far as the haunt industry?
It, how I started. Well, I mean, I started doing my first haunted houses in my yard. I think when I was 15.
Okay.
And I had a lot of support doing that. My dad and I have two younger brothers. We all did it together. It was kind of a passion of ours. And then, year after year for the next 3 years, I think 15, 16, 17, it got bigger every year. By the time I was 18, we wound up, taking over the whole front yard, side yard, backyard, garage, driveway, the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And then my dad at that point, the next year, if you're familiar with, the vortex tunnel, that a lot of haunts have now.
Uh-huh.
And we were one of the first people. Those were never invented. Not that I remember, other than the original vortex tunnel that was created at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
I remember that.
So we were inspired by that. So we actually, in our front yard, when I was 15, 16 years old, we had a 24-foot vortex tunnel that we built from scratch.
Holy shit.
And just kind of figured out how to do it. And that was before motors. We had this whole thing built on skateboard wheels. And we had my brothers, as people were walking through, we're out there like spinning the whole thing by
just
hand.
manually working the tunnel.
Yeah.
Poor
guy.
guy.
It was great.
That's cool that you found inspiration from Universal Studios, the vortex tunnel. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And I think even earlier than that, my whole inspiration was the Haunted Mansion. I feel like the Haunted Mansion was probably my first taste of like something spooky.
Okay.
When I was really young.
Okay.
And but yeah, ever since then, it was just haunted houses and got bigger and bigger and bigger until I was really lucky to have an uncle that loved what I did so much that by the time I was 18, or I think it was maybe 19, my dad was like, we can't do this anymore, man. Like, we were destroying the lawn, everything, the house is it looks like it's under construction. And so my uncle said, what's it cost to put on a haunted house? And I'm like, I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've never built one other than we built ours out of drywall and cardboard. And so I remember he loaned me like $20,000.
Holy shit.
To do our first commercial haunted house when I was 19.
And this was officially as Sinister Pointe?
No, this was, God, I don't even remember. What were we back then? I don't even remember. I've gone through a bunch of different company names. Actually, that when we I think my first couple commercial ones, there was no company name. We just called it a haunted house.
Okay.
And the first one was actually in 1996. And the reason I know that is because we called it Nightmares 96.
Okay.
And that was my first haunted house in a commercial building.
And how old were you?
Believe it or not, I had been 19, probably 19 or 20, maybe.
We were the same age then. Okay.
Okay. And then I did it in Anaheim Hills at a building that they gave us. And literally, it's amazing back then how different things are now. I mean, we got a 10,000 square foot, 15,000 square foot building.
Wow.
We had insurance. We bought all the props and all plywood and built this 6,000 square foot haunted house for under $20,000. Everything, the building, that rent, everything.
That's a huge layout. Wow.
And I mean, it was, nowadays you'd be lucky to be able to do that for $100,000, if that.
What made you take that first step towards, let's say, becoming a commercial haunt or more of a professional haunt or legitimate business?
I think just over those few years from 15 to 19, it just, as soon as I got a taste of it, it just fueled me. Like, I had so many more ideas and there was so much more I wanted to do. And I just didn't want to stop. It was just an instant passion. But I don't know. What's even more interesting is I did this for a few years and I was so blind to anything. I thought other than, I think at that time, I think in my brain, the only thing that existed was Not Scary Farm.
Uh-huh.
And I don't ever recall another, and I don't believe this, but I don't recall ever going to like another haunted house, like an independent haunted house.
Right.
I didn't know of any. I never heard of any. I mean, I've heard of them, but it's not like today where there's 640 of them between Orange County and LA. I mean, just, but it was so rare back then. And I thought I was doing this really unique thing. And then even after a few years of doing haunted houses, I remember working the haunted house one day and I'm buying my props from, some of these magazines I received and mail order stuff and some of the costume shops. And someone said, "Oh man, have you been to the haunted house conventions or whatever?" Huh. And my mind blew. I'm like, wait a minute.
There's conventions?
There is a convention? They're like, "Oh yeah, dude, that's all it is haunted houses and props and everything." And it was like Christmas times 1,000.
Right.
And I remember begging my family. I'm like, I got to save my money. And I think it was in Chicago. I remember like that next year I was in my early 20s and me and a couple of my friends took our first trip out there, and it was the most amazing thing that's ever happened in my life.
That's insane, because we're talking mid to late 90s where, I mean, I knew of Scary Farm and like, whatever local neighborhood they made their house, creepy.
Sure.
I didn't experience Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. I didn't even think it was called Horror Nights back then, like in 97.
Okay.
I think I was 21, and then we went consistently between the two parks, but that was it. I mean, maybe like there was something at a local like high school or like some type of like rec center.
Right. And I've heard a couple of those. They're like, volunteer fire departments putting one on it.
Yeah.
The YMCA has a haunted house kind of thing. Yeah, those were kind of what was here and there that you'd hear about.
Like you said, there's so many out there now, but I just remember Scary Farm, and then Studios. So what influence? How do you get influence to create and to design like just the haunt attractions that you've done throughout the years through Sinister Pointe? Or is it like certain like horror movies you watch? Is it just the fact that Halloween season's in, or is it like, are you looking at the theme parks with their set design?
I mean, of course, I think movies have an influence. The horror movies have an influence. And I feel like there was a lot of times, even in the later years, where people will say, "Oh, have you been to this haunted house or this haunted house, this haunted house?" And I haven't. And I didn't go, even though I liked them, I didn't go to a lot of things because I felt like I always felt like I didn't want to steal somebody else's idea.
Okay.
Like I always tried to think of things that I haven't seen in theaters or I haven't seen in a movie or in another haunted house and stuff like that. I'm like, what can I do? What can I come up with that in my, I guess, sick brain, I just creative brain, like, what are different ways that I could scare people? And I feel like, honestly, a lot of it just came to me. I don't recall a lot of things. Maybe some things, did trigger ideas, but, I don't ever recall going and watching a movie and seeing something happen and me say, "Oh my God, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn that into a scene in my haunted house." I always just tried to think of like, hey, what, I know this, and this exists, but what can I come up with that doesn't exist? So I feel like a lot of the things is just me just brainstorming on what hasn't been done as opposed to what is out there.
I will say this, the events that you created through Sinister Pointe Productions over the years that I've attended, definitely unique, and just they've gone against the grain. Like, just I'm looking at the list of the ones I've been to or worked for. Maybe there's the Spirit Lounge, the pop-up bar in 2019. That was just the coolest thing. Just to go and just to, you had me working as Michael Myers. And then Scary Place, which is, trying to be, I'm not trying to be too favoritive of, but of course I am. And then it's just the Seance we spoke about, Not So Merry, Holiday Haunt, The Haunt, Saw, Haunted Attraction, Beyond the Mirror, Lore Masquerade, which I loved, and then The Realm of Darkness. It's just, you've created all these events or just these productions that just I've never really experienced through the big haunts or the independents. Yeah. It's like you've definitely developed this reputation of being unique.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. That's great. So what lit the fuse in your life at a certain point which you embarked with Sinister Pointe 100%, just like, this is what we're gonna do?
So I think it was always, for me, from, let's say, 1996 until 2006, it was always, even though we did it every year, I think it was always just kind of okay, it's Halloween time, we're going to do another haunted house, let's do it. And we would just build a haunted house. And then I think in 2007, for actually a little while, I wanted to, because again, I don't explore a lot of what else is out there because I don't want it to affect my imagination and ideas. But I think in 2007 or 2008, when for a year or two, a couple years, I don't remember exactly, but I said, I want to be like the first independent haunted house. I want to do a haunted house based on a movie. I want to do it on Saw.
Okay.
And I think once that happened, it took me a long time to kind of, as hard as this independent haunted house that is technically nobody. I'm surrounded by Universal and Knott's and all these people. Again, I might be naive, but I feel like I'm probably one of the first independent haunted houses that's ever done that before, that has gone and got legal rights by the studio to produce an attraction based on a movie.
I notice a lot of the clientele you've had, and I'm looking at the list, so it just, pretty amazing.
Yeah, so I did. So when we got the rights to Saw and did Saw, and it was an absolute hit. Like, I feel like the things we did in that, Saw, kind of, the movie itself was such an iconic movie because it really changed. It created this whole new kind of genre. I feel like, in the industry of movie and film. And so when that movie came out, I talk about inspiration, of course. Saw was a huge inspiration for me. So I saw that stuff and I said, oh my God, I need to take that stuff and put it into a haunted house. And again, I feel like I'm probably one of the first haunted houses where you go into a room and you have to, it's basically one of the first escape rooms where you had to go in and you had to perform a task by putting your hands in these saw blade, contraptions, and everybody had to work together to pull the triggers or push the buttons to actually get the doors to open to go on to the next room. And I didn't know, I've never heard of anybody else that has done anything like that ever. For me personally, I've never heard of anything done like that. So anyway, it was a huge hit, and it was, of course, the biggest turnout and biggest thing I've ever done as a haunted attraction. We had the biggest attendance. We had the celebrities and the producers there, like, everybody there. And that's when I was like, okay, I think we're onto something. Now let's, Sinister Pointe is full throttle. Let's do this.
So that was the lighting point for Sinister Pointe?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, before that, I think it was, just haunted houses every year. And if we did, it was more of a hobby. It was more of we made some money, a little bit of money, lost money. It was a gamble every year. But this was like, okay, let's do this for real and let's go down this path. And of course, then the next year we did, and then we had the people reaching out to us. Then we had Konami Games reached out to us, and that next year we did Silent Hill.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, which was really cool. And then it opened some doors. By doing the Saw one, I guess it was too good to be true, because that next year they're like, that was amazing. That was incredible what you did. So we're going to take this from you now and we're going to let Universal do it so we can actually have millions of people see it, as opposed to, what you can do. So I feel like I was like their test subject, you know what I mean? To see if it worked.
How does it work? How does it work out with the clientele? Like someone like a Lionsgate Films or Konami Games, do they approach you, or is it something like you pitch to them?
I had multiple meetings with Lionsgate for Saw. I would call them. I'd keep hounding them, and who do I need to talk to, and who's the, in charge of entertainment and all that kind of advertising. And finally had a few sit down meetings with them, and they finally, and it just happened. They said, you know what, that sounds good. Let's go ahead and do it. And I was lucky. I mean, back then, it was like a trial thing. It didn't cost me a penny. I didn't have to give them a penny. Mm. There was no royalties. There was nothing. They just signed a thing that just said, yeah, here, you could use the name, use the likeness, use the music, and we'll throw it up on our Lionsgate website, and it was fantastic.
I'm looking at your resume as far as some of the clients you've had, and correct me if I'm wrong. So we talked about Lionsgate Films, Konami Games, Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, correct?
Yeah.
YouTube Red, Scary Farm, Universal Studios of Florida, SeaWorld, Winchester Mystery House, Shadow Haunted Attractions, Los Angeles Haunted Hayride. And then my favorite is the Fox Searchlight Studios, which you did, but you brought me on to help to be an actor. It was the Ready or Not experience at Midsummer Scream in 2019.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was the coolest thing. I mean, I can't believe I had the energy to run around all day like a kid. We weren't supposed to chase people, but we were.
You guys are crazy.
It just
right.
I remember you came in with California Pizza Kitchen pizzas, and I was just like eating between scares and drinking water, and I'm drenched. And then the actual props from the movie were there on display, I believe.
Yeah, they brought the masks and the wedding dress that she wore and a few other things and stuff like that.
To this day, that sound bite of the music.
Oh, that music.
Yes, to this day, that it brings a tear to my eye, and it says I got emotional that day. It was a really cool weekend. I got to do that, and I got to cosplay as a monster and so forth. But when you guys, they're like, "Hey, you want to help on?" I'm like, "I'll be there." And it went by so fast. I was like, "I don't want it to end." We were there for like 6-7 hours, but that to me, and whenever I see that movie, and I'm like, "Dude, I was a part of that attraction at Midsummer Scream." And like I tell people that, they're like, "Yeah, right." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Yeah, it was cool. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. And I'm more than appreciative to be part of that. So
that was a rush, man. It was like last minute, and I think I have to, if I remember correctly, I have to thank David, from Midsummer.
Okay.
Because I think the studio reached out to them or vice versa. Somebody reached out to somebody, and I think Ready or Not wanted to be a part of Midsummer.
Uh-huh.
And I think they said, how can we? And, David being amazing, he called me up and he says, hey, man, I might have an opportunity for you. You want to jump on it? So I think it's all thanks to him for making that happen.
How much of a notice were you given to bring all those facades?
It was like 3 days.
Holy
shit. It wasn't that. It wasn't a lot of time, though. It was like, oh, okay, we got to come up with something pretty quick.
I remember. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it was something that we had to do pretty quick.
I remember you guys were kind of like, breaking things down to us. Or, okay, this is the concept. This is what you do. You hear the music. Once you hear the music, you fast-paced walk after the guests, which we chased them, and it's cat and mouse.
Right.
And I remember like some of the rooms were just like really intricate. There was beds with like underground little passages, and there was like a sewer.
Yeah, I remember that. You can crawl under the bed into the other rooms and stuff. Yeah.
And I think there was 2 people from the studio there from Fox Searchlight. They were just kind of like they were greeting people at the end. There was a photo op.
Yeah.
In the center of the room where everything was built, there was kind of like one of the main rooms, and it was like a table, and like there was board games there, and you guys had like rifles on the wall, and it looked like a den, like an old rustic den. I was hiding in there as the monster, or one of the family members. This dude was about 6'7", and he was maybe about 150 pounds, if that. Skinny guy, and he had like this Halloween suit on. It was like orange. No, it was orange with the white pumpkin. So he stuck out in the black lights. So I'm hiding in the corner, and he's backing into that room, and you guys had the curtains to
Right.
Well, he's backing in and ass first. I guess you would just like he's creeping in because he's hiding from us. He doesn't see me, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this guy. And he had this cheesy like Halloween suit on with like white shoes, and I yelled at him. I'm like, I said something like, guess who wants to play? I'm like, come here, like just like a monster. And then he covered his chest like he was having a heart attack. And he threw himself against the wall. And I was like, where you going, girly boy? And I chased him like the whole entire time. Just the one guy just talking trash to him. I wasn't going to get him, but he was he was terrified. Like I was really going to murder him. I'm like, does this guy really think I'm going to kill him? But the fact that he wore that suit, and so he went into one of the rooms that was the bedding, and it had like the tunnel. And so I came in, and he's hiding under like the comforter, the bedding, like the blankets of the bed. And like in the monster voice, I'm like, well, I guess nobody's here. And I said that out loud, and I pretend I left. And I grabbed the blankets, and I pulled them off him. I'm like, where do you think you're going? And he's like, oh my God, I just want to go. And I was like, you could go, dude. Go ahead. I'm not gonna mess with you. But the fact that he wore this Spirit Halloween suit, like it's just like this pumpkin suit. I'm like, dude, we have black lights in here. You're sticking out. And he was like really tall, and I was just like chasing him, like just, I'm gonna get you. Where are you going? And he's just like, oh my God, leave me alone. It's just, I would have to laugh.
That's so good.
I was really laughing as a monster, but it was really Rick laughing. But the monster was going, I'm gonna get you. But I was really laughing, trying to cover it, and just that was just the best experience. It just
that's great.
I lost my train of thought. So with all your clients, what's been your most memorable project that you've done?
I mean, obviously they all have, there's so many unique things about the ones that I've done that, of course, being able to work on the Queen Mary for, a few years was just an amazing, unique experience.
Okay.
We did so many things on that ship we shouldn't have done. And I don't mean anything bad, but just to almost have access to the entire ship, the bowels of the ship that no one's allowed to go, like off limit stuff, like dangerous areas. Like, we ran amok through that place, because we're building all night.
Right.
We build through the night. So, it's, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're hanging out in like the haunted swimming pool area and stuff that, no one's allowed to go into. So, those experiences are so unique because most people would never get to do that, never get to experience that.
Right.
And that's the same with like the Winchester Mystery House. That was an incredible experience. Again, the same thing. It's a very unique house, and it's, very off limits, and it's, there's only certain areas you can go. And, it's historic. And I don't know anybody else other than maybe some of the staff members, but when we were building the haunted houses there, again, we literally played hide and seek at 3 o'clock in the morning through the Winchester Mystery House in pitch darkness. It was insane. There's nobody in this world that I know that is like, have the ability to do those things and see the areas that we've seen and got to hang out in them. So they're definitely, I don't feel that there's one. Every single place I've been, there's something really unique and special about what it's had to offer. And I can definitely say there's some that I've done that are on the more challenging side that I wouldn't want to do again.
Right.
I have built a couple haunted attractions in China. I've been back and forth to China quite a few times, and that, I'll be honest, it was really rough. The first one was right. By the second or third one, I don't even remember. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. I said, I just didn't like it.
Was it the back and forth, or just being there stuck this entire time?
Being there, stuck there for, a month at a time, or 3 weeks, depending on what it was. Mm-hmm. And I think we're just so set in our ways, and everything is so accessible here. If I'm building a haunted house and I need a box of screws, boom, Home Depot right up the street. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Makes sense.
I got a box of screws. That doesn't exist over there. So there is no and of course the communication is very hard.
Right.
So, and the way they do everything is much different. So it could be the smallest thing you're trying to do, but it becomes the biggest task. Mm-hmm. So you have to be so prepared. Like when you go in the morning, they say, okay, we're going to go an hour from here to this, it's almost like a alley where it's this dingy alley where they have basically garage doors all open all the way down the back. And that's where their hardware stores are.
Okay.
And there's a store that just sells screws. Then you got to drive another 5 miles for the store that sells the nuts for the screws.
Oh, wow.
And it's just weird like
just
that.
Different. Okay.
And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's just a lot of work. And it's just, and of course I struggled with the food and just everything it's a very culture shock deal. And because where we're at, everyone we've done, we're not in a very touristy area. I mean, we were out in places where we actually had to have an interpreter around with us all the time.
Oh, wow.
When we went anywhere, there's no just to have McDonald's. We don't even eat McDonald's, but it was my God, I just need something.
Everything was a mission.
And we'd walk in and we would walk in and they would all look at us like we're superstars. Oh my God, look, Americans, So we were really out there in the sticks, those were really tough gigs. And I'll be honest, they're tough to want to do. But like I said, again, all of them have such a unique experience that I'll take from every single one.
Same question, but what's your most memorable experience building your own haunt attraction for Sinister Pointe? Not for a client. If you could go back, I'm going to save that. What's your most memorable experience or build for Sinister Pointe? Your own haunt attraction, not for a client.
Right. It was when we finally got and I don't know what year it is, unfortunately. I want to say maybe 2012, 2011, 2012 is when we finally got our permanent location. And we had our permanent location, and we actually, I felt like we're able to spend a little more time and really build things the way I want to build them. Mm-hmm. To an extent, we still have limitations, but to be able to build a fully detailed 2-story facade of a house. And I think honestly, probably my favorite thing that we ever built was our swamp.
That was cool.
We had to be able to build that, I remember we had these reps from Firestone Tires come in, and I'm like, hey man, I want to turn this room into a giant swamp, with 20,000 gallons of water. And so we called in these Firestone guys that make specialty rubber liner. Mm-hmm. That they custom sized for the entire room.
That's insane.
So we can do this, and building the bridges and the drop bridge that drops down into the water, and having people in the water and stuff like that was probably my favorite thing that we have ever done for our own attraction.
And this is the 2-story facade that was kind of like a backwoods hillbilly theme. I remember.
Yes. Yep. Yep, absolutely.
The lighting in that thing, I loved it. Like I could have just hung out on the porch. Like I'm like, I don't have to walk through. I'm fine. Can I just hang out on the porch with the monsters?
Yeah, everybody loved hanging out just like in the front of it.
Cool.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Coolest thing. It's just
yeah.
So I think we're gonna take a quick break. So I got some more
Yep.
questions for you. I feel like we're at a stopping point, and I'm trying not to geek out too much on Sinister Pointe since I worked for you. Again, this is episode 19. I'm here with Big Boss Man, Sinister Jeff from Sinister Pointe Productions, and we'll be right back.
Don't you dare try to escape. The Creepcast with Rick Creeper shall return.
Hey everybody, this is Rick Creeper 11 from the Creepcast podcast. Once again, you're hearing my voice because we're talking about vampfangs.com. Yes, vampfangs.com. Vampfangs has been established since 1993 out of Salem, Massachusetts, New England's only vampire shop. That sounds kind of spooky. Host of the Endless Night Salem's Vampire Ball. I can speak about this personally because I've purchased things from them. Some of the various haunts or like horror cosplay photo shoots that I've done, I've acquired my fangs, more importantly, my contacts, which are FDA compliant, approved, and verified from your eye doctor, is shipped here in the good old US of A. So they came through for me. I've had bad experiences with other companies where contacts weren't the greatest quality, or they're shipped overseas, so either they were really bad quality or just didn't arrive here on time. So Van Fangs was definitely a lifesaver, but they have other things as well. I already mentioned special effect contacts. They have special effect makeup, fangs, apparel, sunglasses, bags, fragrances, chokers, you name it. Everything is based out of Salem, Massachusetts, and they've got a cool little store over there. Check them out, vampfangs.com online or at VamFangs Official at Instagram. Tell them Rick Creeper sent you. You guys will love it. Trust me. Check them out. VamFangs Official, Instagram. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Where do you think you're going? There is no escape from the Creepcast with Rick Creeper.
Okay, guys, we're back at it. This is the second half of episode 19 with Jeff Schiefelbein, excuse me, boss, aka Sinister Jeff from Sinister Pointe Productions, the owner and operator. Okay, so we're just gonna jump back into this really quick. I want to talk about some of the experiences I've had, going to your events, and just how it really stuck out to me. I was like, this is definitely unique and different, and they're going against the grain, and there's creative minds behind this, and this is independence. You don't have like a big production, like a soundstage, like a Universal, or you have, the budget of like a Knott's or whatever. So, I remember I think my first experience was either the Lore Masquerade, or or the Bloody Mary themed attraction you had, I think.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. I
don't remember what one came first.
They
I
both.
don't remember.
They both.
Sure, within roughly the same time, or within a year or so of each other.
I think so. I was like, "Who's Sinister Pointe? Who's this company?" It's like, okay, I'm fine with this, and it's like it's creative. I like immersion. I like immersion, interaction, creativity. And then you created that with your characters. They like your different facades or just the different parts of the mazes. It wasn't just like a walkthrough with a jump scare. It's like, I don't remember. You're gonna have to help me out. I don't remember of the one you guys had. It's the location you had in Fullerton, which is the permanent location for the 17 door now.
Correct. Yes.
What was the name of that haunt again? I forget.
Shoot.
That's bad that you don't remember.
I know. God, because every year it's a different
theme.
Name of a haunt.
The theme.
It was.
You had the four. It was
the different. Yeah. It was
the four demigods.
Shit. What was it? Yeah. It was. I have no idea.
I forget.
I have no idea.
I forget. So I love the fact that it was four. You had four options, and it was four different gods. and there was like the soothsayer or like the gypsy who gave you like the tarot card. And that and I believe that was Myra at the time. I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then flash forward, she ends up being my maze manager, you know, at Evil on 2. She gives you the card, which determines where you're going. And you had someone dressed kind of like a blacksmith, and they branded you on your forehead.
Yeah.
I was smiling the entire time. He's like, "Get on your knees," and I had this shit-eating grin ear to ear, and he branded me. And I was sick as a dog. I think I had the stomach flu. And I paid to have the multiple experience to go through multiple times, and I was barely able to get through. And I remember it came to the end where you see the 4 gods like up on their perch, they're sitting down, and you had to go through a crawl space. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm dying, but this is so cool. It's just unique and different. It was dark, and just there was like just different characters everywhere. And I remember I'm like, okay, I went through once, I could go through again. I just couldn't do it, but I remember that in the seance, which was what's inside the Odyssey store in Brea, California, correct?
Yep.
The store alone, I went and then I bought everything there. I spent way too much money. The display, just the store facade display you had at the windows of the Odyssey store, which is the Curiosity store, which is amazing. I purposely purchased the tickets where like the witching hour with like the midnight, and then we pulled up to, you know, the Grove. She wasn't even a Grove. Someone I dated at the time. We pulled up in the strip mall, and then I'm like, "That's where we're going." And she's like, "We're going in there." I'm like, "She says it's midnight." I'm like, "They're open." And there was a character, I forget who was the greeter at the time. And they brought us in, and then we, you know, he opens up the bookcase, and we went into like the spirit room, and we sat there. She's a little witchy, you know, apparently. Yeah. And then she's just like, there's some truth to this seance. I'm like, "Are you sure?" And she got a little creeped out, and like the practical effects. I remember like there was like flames going off and explosions, and people were grabbing their chairs. That was the coolest thing because it was very intimate. It was 13 spots, I believe, on the table, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was just probably my favorite. And then I got to work the last 2 nights with you guys at the Mist, and also I went as a patron as well, which was good and bad because everyone knew I was coming. So,
sure. Yeah, that always happens.
So everyone
know you.
Everyone fucked with me. And I remember we're sitting there, and it's you know, the theme, it's like it's an archaeological dig, and like this portal opened up and demons took over this town, and you had an option to go left or right. So we went left, which we came out to the front facade of just I think it was the cemetery. And it was just the giant archway, and it was filled with fog, and you just see like lights in the distance shimmering. I'm like, I'm not fucking going in there. Look at that. And I'm the biggest chicken shit. I admit it. I get scared for everything. And so as we're entering and I was like, this is the coolest thing. And I brought my buddy Emmanuel, who does the voiceover on the podcast. And we're just like, okay, this is a scavenger hunt, but at the same time, keep in mind the monsters are going to mess with us because we're here. And I loved it. I was just like, dude, this is like the coolest concept, the coolest design. Again, going back to how you create something unique and different. And just, I've never seen anyone create a haunt, you know, with a combination hybrid of like a scavenger hunt, and you're given X amount of time to find these clues, and you got to go to crawl spaces. Into the church was creepy as hell, and then at the same time the monsters are messing with you, and I was like, this is just something I didn't want to leave. The 30 minutes are up. I'm like, I don't want to go, but I guess we got to go. It's just like, you know, the Annabelle experience. Well, that I worked for you over at Southern Monster Palooza back in 2019. Oh
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that was great. I was the bearded nun. Just kind of, you know, I was hiding behind the draw panel of the nun. I put, I think, a bed sheet over.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. And then Scary Place, of course, where I worked. Do you remember my audition for Scary Place?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
100% do.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because of course I've never seen you before. You weren't recognizable to me. You know, if you've been, I know you've been to the other events. And if I remember, for me, I feel like I remember you were just kind of sitting there quiet, and is that true? Is that it? Like, you just seemed like,
I sat there. I sat there quietly.
At the beginning, I was like, this guy's just kind of sitting there quietly. I don't know what his vibe is. And usually what happens is me and Danny and a couple of the guys that are working, we'll usually, like, you know, under our breath, we'll sit there and be like, okay, that guy there, that guy there, that guy. they won't come back. They're like, I think they're gonna like just be like, nah, not for me. Like, this isn't for me. And we in our head, we pointed to you. We're like, yeah, I just don't think he's gonna be into. Like, I don't think he's gonna want to do this.
The funny thing about this,
And you surprise everybody.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. The funny thing about it is, I don't know if Danny or Myra ever told you. I was outside the building, the space, and I was sitting there contemplating. And I remember I purposely came late to the auditions, like the later times, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, man. I was like, they really just no, who knows? And I was sitting on one of the benches outside, and here comes Danny, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm just hanging out. Okay. And he's making small talk with me.
Right.
And he's looking at me, and of course I'm probably wearing like a stupid horror t-shirt, and that's a dead given. And then, I got the horror tattoos on my arm, and after a while he's like, you here to audition? Huh? I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, well, come in. And he kind of, he's the one that encouraged me to come in. And I remember it was, no pressure. Like, everyone's sitting there. You're sitting there. Paul's sitting there. Danny was there, Myra. And then there was people auditioning that had experience.
Sure.
And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? I have no idea. And I remember you guys had a box of props.
Yeah.
And at the time I was playing a video game called Dead by Daylight, which is a horror theme, like kind of like a Predator and Prey game. And there was a character like I really, really liked. He was a big hulking dude, whatever. And then at the same time, it's just like, and I've admitted before, it's like where I found inspiration to like mess with people as a monster is the campy one-liners as Freddy Krueger. I mean, he just talks trash and he gets away with it. And so like, okay, you're all like, just come up and do whatever. And I remember I grabbed the pickaxe and I was talking trash to everyone. And I looked at you and I'm like, especially you, pretty boy. And then everyone laughed. And it just, and then from there, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you guys took pictures of us, and then you broke us up in groups to kind of do like, I just scenarios with one another, and I walk like this, walk like that. And I just ran with that, kind of just like the hulking monster that knows no one's going to stop him, and I'll talk trash and pretend like I'm going to eat people or whatever. I remember originally, I guess I was going to get casted as the demon at the end of Eat the Evil on 2 maze.
Okay.
And
I don't remember.
I believe you.
It's very possible. It sounds like it would make sense.
It would make sense. And I'm like, sure. Okay, I'll play a demon. I'll probably be in a mask or makeup. And then Myra reached out to me again. I guess there was a change. You guys decided to change that. And I went from being, the demon who's like the demon who possessed the entire, the demon of Evil on 2 is supposed to be a hotel that the demon took over and people trying to escape and so forth. Well, I went from being the demon at the end of the maze to you guys put me into the security guard position.
Right.
And at first I was like, I don't want to work security, dude. I'm like, I used to be a bouncer years ago. And Myra's like, no. You're like the security themed like character of the haunt where you watch people. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm thinking like, I'm going to play this like a dirtbag, just like a guy that's like into voyeurism. And then I built this backstory where he's like,
right, we had that kind of set up.
Yeah,
right?
because
that back area, all the voyeur pictures. And
exactly. So I saw
I
saw the pictures. I'm like, okay, this dude's watching everybody. He's got these voyeur pictures on the wall. He's got these monitors, and he's looking at everybody. And I'm thinking, his backstory is he's a washout from the police academy. He tried to become a cop. He couldn't do none of that. He tried to become a cop, different departments, whatever. His girlfriend's wife left him, and he's mad. And the only job he could get was just being this dirtbag security guard, watching everybody, and he abuses his authority. And let's say he was kind of like a womanizer. So once the demon, I know like some people were like semi-possessed, some people were like weren't possessed, and I think my character was semi-possessed. So what I played it off, I'm like, okay, you're semi-possessed, so your true inner self is gonna come out. So this guy who you are, it's coming out, and I played it like kind of bipolar. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to help people, but then at the same time, I'm going to flip it and not help people. I'm like, hey, come this way. You could trust me. And people are like, oh, hell no. And they take off running. And just, I remember that. It's just hilarious. And to me, it's just like, I don't know where it came from. I was like, no experience, no nothing. And like by week 3, it just like, you and everyone was reassuring me, like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, okay. And then like Danny got really close to me, and Myra. and it just like some other people as well. And then some of the makeup artists, they're like, hey, so where did we find you? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, where'd you come from? I'm like, Fountain Valley, where I live. I'm like, I'm like, at the time where I lived, I'm like, you never were. I'm like, nope, this is my first time. And everybody's like, are you serious? I'm like, why is it so shocking? I'm just having fun. And I just played that backstory and just, and I looked at the pictures and everything. And it just like, it worked out perfect because like you went through this rat race of being attacked by all these people, and you got to my area and it kind of calmed down. I was just standing there and everybody's like, oh, we're sorry. They thought I was like actual security of like the mall or whatever, the building.
Right.
I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing back here? You're not supposed to be back here. Or I play, hey, you're trying to get out, and I'm pretending I'm wounded. Or I did like the throw up gag with the food coloring in the water. After a while, I got grossed out by that. I have no idea where I found that inspiration. And just to me, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to run with it. And that just kind of lit the fuse of the monster that I am now. And it's just,
right.
It's cool because I'm sitting here in my dining room and I actually have, which I purchased from you in my costume as well. I have the banner, the billboard from the entrance to the Evil on 2 maze.
Evil on 2, yeah.
If it's perfect, I'm looking around. If it's perfect right here in the dining room, and it's just, I look at it.
Awesome.
That was the coolest experience. It's just,
well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, let me say, a lot has changed over the years when we've been doing haunted houses. And I've always felt that anybody that is willing, how do I say this? There's people that are there because they're passionate about the haunted house. I think we pay a little bit of money. We paid the cast a little bit of money and stuff. But to be honest, most of the years we've ever done haunted houses, I would say the majority of our life of doing haunted houses was always volunteer. And there's two reasons. One, because we're broke and don't have a lot of money to pay. Two, is because those are the people that are there for the passion of the haunted house. They're not there for the money. They're there because they want to be there. They're from everything from creating their character to the camaraderie and the people that are around them. And we've met so many people that have been so amazing. That is the reason Sinister Pointe has so many memorable people and so many memorable characters and stuff, because they're there because they want to be there, and they've created this character or life around Sinister Pointe. And to be honest, we started the last few years that we've done haunts, things changed. We started losing a lot of that, and we had a lot of people as we were growing, we're required to give people money and this and that, whatever, and we needed more cast. And when you need that, I would say half of the people there don't even really want to be there. They're there because they want their $100 or whatever, and so they just go in, they bitch, complain, be like blah blah blah. Okay, is it time to leave yet? Okay, I'm out of here. And then you start seeing your production go downhill.
That's
because they're and my point is, someone like you, I think there was maybe you, and I'm not putting anybody down, but you out of, I don't even know how many people we had at Scary Place. I want to say, I think at the max total, I think we had like 60 people or something like that.
It was roughly 60 to 70 people.
Something like that. I would say 10%, if that, 5% of the people there, you being one of them, came to you and said, "Hey, man, we can't pay you anymore." But it didn't seem like you cared. Like you never complained. You always wanted to be there. Every time we took breaks, you're like, "I'm ready to go. Let's go back in. Let's fucking do this, man." I was look at Paul and Danny. I'm like, this fucker doesn't stop. Like he's ready. Like he just wants to do this. And I mean, and it's so rare. And I can think of a very small handful of people that when they came, they were there because they loved it. Mm-hmm. And they are the people that created this. And that's a rare thing. And it's been an honor to have you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Place.
I always give you credit in Sinister Pointe. It wasn't for Sinister Pointe. The monster would have never been born, or he probably wouldn't have woken up. I wouldn't have done a lot of photo shoots and just, experienced things at Midsummer Scream. I wouldn't be doing a podcast. I'll tell you that right now, I'll be honest with you. And just met a lot of cool people. And just, at the end of the day, I was, at the end of the night or whatever, I was like, dude, I'm having a blast and I'm getting paid to do this. And I was like, right. Fucking sign me up. I was like,
right.
I mean, and you guys put me on the main floor for opening night a couple nights. And it was like me and vets. I'm like, I'm just a new guy. And everybody's like, how long you been doing this? I'm like, this is my first year. They're, how old are you? I'm like, oh, it's at the time 42. They're like, wait a minute, you never done this before and you're 42? I'm like, nope. And I remember they wanted me to play the maitre d', the greeter of the entrance of Evil on 2. I'm like, that jacket's not going to fit me. You know that, right, Myra? So we'll just go down in your security costume. And I was making up my own stories and talking trash to people. And
yeah, that's great.
It's just great. So like I said, if it wasn't for that experience or just, taking that plunge, because I was going to chicken out, a lot of things probably wouldn't have happened. So yeah. I'm more than grateful. So
we're grateful too. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. So stop kissing my ass. So next question.
Can I say something before
go
I
ahead.
forget? I want to say something that I think anybody that is, because you brought up the seance.
Yeah.
And before I forget, so there was a scene, you mentioned it, where you're sitting there and it's near the end and everything's going awry and shit. The lights are going out and things are getting chaotic. Uh-huh. And the chairs start moving from underneath you while you're sitting on them and stuff. Uh-huh. So not many people know, but we thought about this. We when we were creating this, and we're like, when things start going crazy, like, I want the chairs to move. Like, how are we going to do that? We're going to use pneumatics. We're going to hook things up. That could be too dangerous. Do we hook wires up to it? Now someone might trip over them. Like, trying to think of all these different ways to like make these these chairs that are able to freely go in and out, to make a move from under you. So the solution, which I don't think many people know, is I went out and bought the full, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on full night vision goggles. And that was me on my hands and knees in knee pads and night vision goggles, going around the table, grabbing the chairs and yanking them out from under people's asses.
So that was you personally doing that?
That was personally me. Every single show was on my hands and knees in night vision goggles, yanking the chairs out of under people's asses.
That's passionate.
I'm like, this is the only way it's gonna get done. I'm gonna do this.
Nope.
It was an experience.
That was the coolest event. Can we go back to the Spirit Lounge and do that again, please?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We're doing it.
Okay, I'm getting my mask overhauled as Michael Myers and different coveralls. So, you have a vast collection of props from like various movies and just horror and just how long have you been collecting all that stuff? A lot of that we saw at the Spirit Lounge.
Yeah, a lot of it was at the Spirit Lounge. To be honest, every once in a while I sell some pieces off and stuff. I don't have any more room for this shit.
Right.
So, I've been collecting things for 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And I'll get rid of some pieces for new pieces and stuff like that. My collection's definitely dwindled down these days. I used to have a 15,000 square foot warehouse that I can keep everything and display everything. And, once we moved out, to move stuff. And other than my office and my office at home, which is nothing but, so my home office is actually covered from head to toe in specifically Haunted Mansion collectibles.
Okay.
The rest of my house is very modern. People are actually surprised. I get hit up all the time, like at conventions and stuff. They're like, "Oh my God, you're the creator of this, and this. I can't imagine your house has got to look like you walk in and it probably looks like the Munster's house and the creatures." I'm like,
no, it's very contemporary.
You would never know in a million years that I do anything horror ever. It's 100% contemporary. I'm just, and everyone's like, why? Well, that's weird. I'm like, honestly, it's like, I've been doing this for so long, and Halloween is my life 365 days a year. I don't also want to come home to it. I need some kind of
buffer. I get it.
I just need a little buffer. I just need a little bit, you know?
I totally get it.
So that's my thing. But yeah, so I mean, you know, I have my attic full of stuff, and I have tons of collectibles, and my office and pieces here and there, and I think my thing is, that's why I like doing things like the Spirit Lounge and stuff. It, you know, it gives me a chance to like, we put this shit out. I want, you know, let's put this stuff out.
A lot of Easter eggs. You had Pazuzu from The Exorcist, and you had the Gremlins, and then a lot of stuff from Killer Clowns. The book from Beetlejuice. I forget what it's called.
I forget the name of it.
And then you had Annabelle on display, and just like a lot of stuff like on the shelves. I'm like, I was working as Michael, and I'm trying to stay in character, and I'm like, oh, cool, he's got Pazuzu on the shelf. I'm like, oh, Gremlins.
I had the original comic book up there from Creepshow.
That too. Yeah.
I had the book from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, there's a lot of little Easter eggs, and just
a lot of little things. The Hellraiser box sitting up there.
That was the coolest. I had a blast every night. My best memory, and I think Paul took a picture of it. I would do it every. Once I did that one night, I did it every day. Every night we worked. I would stand partially in the doorway of the hallway that led to the restrooms, where as Michael Myers, so you could only see half my face, like I'm hiding behind the hedge in the movie.
Oh yeah.
People didn't want to go to the bathroom, and I'm just like, they saw me, they're like, is the bathroom over there? And I just kind of give them the slow look, and they're like, never mind, and they didn't want to go. People were terrified. Yeah. I would just stare at them all night in like in different spots, and they're like, why is Michael Myers following me? I'm all, you asshole, you let me know you're afraid of me, so I'm gonna do my job. You know, it's like, you know. I had a blast.
I think that was one of the best things I did, and it was something I always wanted to do because I haven't seen anybody else do it. But it was also the worst thing you could do, where you don't make the bathrooms haunted,
right?
And because that line to get in the bathroom every night went all the way out the door, and these people are like, "Fuck, man, I need to take a piss," and all these people are in line just because they want to see
the bathroom.
What's in the. They just want to see what's in the bathroom. And I'm like, I got to rethink that.
I would go there and put a little hairspray in Michael's on my mask, on the hair of the mask, and the lights are going off. I'm like, let me get the hell out of here. I had a buddy who would not use the bathroom there. He went downstairs to the movie theater across the street.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm like, dude, it's just effects. No one's going to jump out and grab you. He's like, no, I'm going down the street.
Yeah, we don't have people in there.
Yeah, live actors standing still.
You're right, yeah.
Okay, so let's switch up gears and let's talk about what you got going on recently. Let's talk about the Haunted Mansion inspired Ghost Retreat Airbnb. Okay, what can you tell me about that?
You know, this was something that has been in the works in my brain ever since I first heard that, you know, about Airbnbs, about people starting to rent their homes out for people. And I always wanted, because the Haunted Mansion, again, like I just said, my entire office is all Haunted Mansion collectibles, and I have Haunted Mansion tattoos, and I feel that the Haunted Mansion was what inspired me from day one to do what I do. So with that passion, I always wanted to make my house the Haunted Mansion. I mean, as detailed as possible. But again, like I said, my house is modern now, and we said, you know what? He owns a couple Airbnbs that are just regular ones.
Okay.
And you know, they're you know, fairly profitable business. And when I approached him, I said, hey man, like, this is what I want to do, and this is COVID time, and I'm like, I'm looking for something to do. I've always wanted to do this, and I pitched him the idea, and he was immediately like, I'm in, like, let's do it. So we went in, you know, more or less 50-50 into this, and I had the designs and all the things, the effects and things that I wanted to do and create, and we just went to work. I mean, we bought a house in Fullerton, a four bedroom, 2-bath house.
Okay.
And I want to say we almost kind of demoed it down to the frame. I mean, not totally, but I mean, just really ripped it apart. because there was a lot of work, involved in adding a lot of the effects that I wanted to do, so we had to really rip out all the drywall, all the walls, because, we had all brand new electrical that we had to put into the walls, all new electrical panels, everything,
Wow.
a lot of TVs built into the walls, illusions, glass built in, all that kind of stuff. And so we really ripped it to its bones and built this thing up. And it's been a dream for me. It's been just as I'm building it, just to see it come together and to have the ability to create the things that I've been thinking about for 10 years has been just a blast. And it's not stopping. I mean, we're now open. It's been open for I think a month, just under a month now, 3 weeks, something like that. And we've gotten rave reviews. And, being my own worst critic, I'm like, oh, but I still want to do this. And I want to add this. And I want to do this.
Tweak it a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I want to tweak it and I want to make it whatever. But I think that's good. I look at that as like Walt Disney, how he says, like, Disneyland will never be completed. It'll, and that's what I feel about this. I mean, I have pages of things that I want to add, and and that's a nice thing. Like every couple of months, boom, we'll put something new in, and a new addition here, and add this, and
so this is definitely going to grow and change themes. Well, I mean, you're going to stick to the theme, but
change themes.
You'll add more practical effects or whatever.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we'll have more effects, more decor. Things like that. So, and it's going to continue to expand as far as the detail goes.
Okay.
But it's been fantastic. The response has been amazing. It is beautiful. I mean, everybody that has physically gone and walked through it has been so gracious and just said it's just the detail and everything's so precise, and it's beautiful, and
the picture,
and it's such an honor here, and the pictures don't even do it justice, not at all.
They don't, but they look amazing. I was like, how in the hell did they do this? And it's like, without revealing too much, what are some of the effects that people could expect, staring at the ghostly retreat?
Well, some of the things we added just to help bring the place to life that doesn't necessarily have to do with the Haunted Mansion, but it still helps the vibe. So, but I mean, you have things like, when you're at the end of the ride at the Haunted Mansion, you're driving through and the hitchhiking ghosts appear in the mirror with you. I mean, we've recreated those effects.
Okay.
We've recreated all the changing portraits. So the whole walls are all displayed with the changing portraits. We've recreated and all the full size following busts. Unfortunately, we weren't able to actually recreate the elevator scene with the stretching portrait.
Yeah, that's
as much as I was like, we gotta do this. That just wasn't in the budget to create a full elevator scene. But the overall look, we did create that and turn it into a game room, and all the work and the woodwork on the ceilings to recreate the same look, and the pictures and everything are just beautiful. There's so much work involved in the detail, and there's a lot of fun little things that as you're walking around, and people have commented that you have to kind of look around and like you said, like a lot of Easter eggs. There's things like, oh my God, I just realized this is there or that's there, or they kind of did this just like the mansion. And there's a lot of pieces like that. Replicating the doors in the Haunted Mansion down the main hallway with all the really intricate doors. I mean, that was so much fun to recreate. Everything. We had custom molds made and 3D prints made and all kinds of stuff like that. And
you'd be surprised. So many people are about intricate details. That's what I love. Any haunt that I'll go to, it's like, Fortunately, a lot of the actors won't scare me because they're just, this big guy's not going to get scared. Unless they're a 5'2" woman, they'll scare the shit out of me. But right. I love details.
Yeah.
Woodwork, lighting, decor, and just it's a small thing. So you're catering to a demographic. There's people out there, they love the Haunted Mansion. So if you're replicating something to the smallest detail in the retreat, they're like, oh my God, look at the doors, look at the framing, look at the statuettes, the mirrors. Right. It's you're triggering something that you're bringing excitement to them, enjoyment. It's just, that's amazing.
And the neat thing that I've created, so some of the other things, so we have effects where you might have some creepy sounds and things happen at 3 a.m. in the morning, stuff like that we want to kick it up a little bit, that to give them a little bit of a spook here and there. But I feel like what I have done, I kind of expanded. I feel like what I did was wanted to expand on the world of the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, when you're on the ride and you're in your dune buggy and you're going down the corridor of doors, and some of them are breathing, and you've got all these doors. The question is, what's behind those doors? If you were to be able to get out of your dune buggy and go into one of those doors, what's there? What is that?
You have a good point.
And that's what I've done. I've taken those doors and said, well, if you did go through that door,
this is what you're going to see.
That is the Hatbox's bedroom and his workstation. So, so you get to go in and you get to stay in the Hatbox ghost room.
That's cool.
And so it's like, I didn't want to do a thing, because there are other Haunted Mansion themed Airbnbs where it's more of a house with Haunted Mansion memorabilia.
And that's it.
And that's it. Like this isn't that. There's no memorabilia in there. There's not Haunted Mansion posters in there or anything like that. It's if I was in the Haunted Mansion, I went through that door,
what would
be in there?
Exactly.
What's in there? We have Master Gracie's bedroom. Like, what would his bedroom look like? Well, he's in there and, he's got all these beautiful portraits and big, giant, elaborate beds and, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And one thing that some people don't even notice, which is kind of neat, is so we have these different bedrooms, and when you go in, we have created a story that's on the back of all the bedroom doors, and they all tie into each other. There's a little story about Master Gracie and the Hatbox Ghost. We have a room called the Raven, because in the original story of the Haunted Mansion, the Raven, originally was going to be a big part of the Haunted Mansion in some of the older stories. So I kind of took all those characters and created almost my own version of a story on how they all are related to each other.
That's cool. So you did an extension of what if could be behind those bedroom doors. You took the actual lore, the characters, and now they have their own story, and it's all within this house. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to pitch something to you. If you do your next the Ghostly Retreat 2.0, like if you decide to do an upgrade, have people sign a waiver.
Oh, here we go.
And you can have me show up as one of the characters, and I can hide like under their bed until they go to they go to sleep, or wait till they go in the shower or something, or like hide in a closet, and I could come out as
yeah, totally, when they go in the shower.
Hey, but they sign a waiver, so they know what they're expecting. Because you wait,
right?
You go behind the shower curtain. How many people? I'm terrified of the shower curtain. If I'm home by myself, it's like I lock the bathroom door. I'm so much of a chicken, but no. So they know what to expect. They're like, hey, there's some random monster here. He's gonna jump out between this time and this time, and maybe he's under the bed. I'm just saying, if you do some upgrades, just a thought.
Well, on that level, one thing that we are already talking about is during the Halloween season. I'm sure we will be enhancing the experience to kick up the fear factor a little bit.
Okay.
And we also are kicking around for the holidays is doing a obvious Nightmare Before Christmas layover.
Sign me up. That's all you got to tell me.
Yeah. And we're already in the works, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell you a theme.
Okay.
But we are in the works of doing another Airbnb this year.
So besides what you just told me, anything else that you want to talk about in the near future?
Again, anticipating, we are hoping to be moving on another Airbnb with a new theme that I think is going to be a lot of fun. And we are really hoping, and we've had a couple meetings on the Spirit Lounge.
Cool.
So we're doing our best to bring back the Spirit Lounge, and there's been some talks with a couple other haunt related companies for me to do some stuff, probably Monsterpalooza stuff, things like that. But that is still a little premature, so I don't have too many details yet on that stuff.
If you're looking for a 45-year-old monster that's not working, you know where to find one. So
perfect.
So
got it.
I'll definitely put the links in the description of the podcast. They could find the Airbnb, they could find Sinister Pointe, they could contact you for anything. Instagram, Facebook, so forth, website. So what I normally do, we're about at that point because I don't want to keep you on too long. I know you're a busy man. I end every episode with a fantasy question or scenario.
Okay.
In your circumstance, you have a two-parter.
Okay.
So right there in your home studio, a dimensional portal opens up.
Okay.
And you're approached by a theme park of your choice to design an immersive attraction. What theme do you create and design, and why? It could be something for Disney, Universal. It could be like Tokyo Disney. It could be whatever. And they're pretty much giving you a drafting table with everything you need, all the tools. We want to design a concept for us, and it's an immersive attraction. No pressure.
That right? Wow. That is a very tough question. I feel like the first thing that comes to my head is Disney.
Okay.
That's just kind of my life. I'm just a Disney person. So I'll start with Disney. And then of course my first thought is, how can I do something in the horror field? But I'm like, okay, do I want to take away? I mean, they already have the Haunted Mansion. Do I want to take away from that? So I have, and I'm just talking, I mean, I'm not even thinking about this. I'm just talking out loud right now. So
that's
this
fine.
is probably going to sound horrible.
That's fine.
So maybe I better think about this first. It sounds really boring when I'm thinking it back in my head. I'm just thinking of some of the passions of mine. Okay. So I have another passion of mine is I have a passion with space and science.
Okay.
Space exploration. So I mean, everything I follow is like SpaceX, NASA, the galaxy, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So in my head, my first thing is like, if I'm trying to think of something different, it would maybe be some kind of cool interactive space. How I would make that cool. I mean, my first thought is, it almost sounds a little Star Toursy kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But man, I wish I had more time to think about this.
What if we did like a space journey that's horror themed, but you would have to keep it within the parameters like Disney friendly?
Right. I think I love the idea of, the immersiveness. Some of my favorite rides, and I actually don't know, I have not watched any. I think I've maybe pieced together a few of them, but I haven't watched any of the Harry Potter movies. Like it just never really seemed much of an interest to me, that whole world. But I went on the Harry Potter ride in Florida a few years ago, 5 years ago. And it was probably the best ride I've ever been on in my life. Mm-hmm. Between the mechanics of the ride and the visual elements and the animatronics, it brought everything together. And I went on that thing like 10 times while I was there, and I was just like, this blew my mind. But I can see some kind of, you know, some immersive space ride where, you know, the whole thing is immersive, where you feel like you are getting into a shuttle, and you are launched, whatever, to Mars, and shit goes south. You know, and you're. I feel like that's just Star Tours, but well,
it's
but yeah, but right. Oh, then there's a robot driver, and there's, you know, yeah, I don't know.
Well, you can develop it over time, so, you know.
Right, I'll work on that. Another thing I would love is to take a ride. So I'm also a big classics person.
Okay.
And one of my favorite classic television shows is like The Munsters, or also What's Behind You. A lot of the Universal
monsters. Yeah.
To create some kind of immersive ride where you travel through the Universal Monsters world.
Okay.
Where I think that where it's so artsy, where everything, the whole ride is like black and white.
That'd be amazing.
You're just going through all these different scenes where it's combining video elements along with animatronics, but you are going through a classic horror ride element where it's all done in black and white, and it's all, you know, just immersive and three-dimensional. I think that would be amazing.
I could see you doing this for like Universal. I mean,
sure, that would make more sense for Universal. Of
course. I love what they did with the Transformers, because it's practical, and then it's little CGI, I guess, and then there's like animatronics, and just I got sick as hell on it, but I loved it. But the fact you said black and white, and you're going through this gothic, you know, gothic theme horror movie, and it's the classics. It's, you know, the Phantom, and then possibly the Mummy, or the Invisible Man, and so forth. The Wolfman. I can relate to that. I think that would be incredible if you're going through the old, you know, the streets of, you know, of, I don't know where did all that take place? You know, right. the old streets of wherever, London or whatever it was. Yeah,
London. Yeah, but everything is just black and white, and you know, and it's like a dark ride.
Oh, exactly. There you go.
It's a dark ride, all done in black and white, and everything just glows beautifully, and it's all the Universal characters coming to life. I think that would be badass.
You might want to pitch that to Universal Studios one day.
All right, now they just stole it from me.
Not like they're going to listen to this.
Motherfuckers.
Okay, so your second question, same scenario. You got an opportunity to go back to, of all the Sinister Pointe production events you've done yourself and put together, which one would you go back and relive, and why?
I would go. Oh man, there's a few. I would probably. I think the most unique one that I would go back, that kind of started a lot of it, was our first Christmas haunted house.
Okay.
Reliving that was, you know, I did haunts forever, and then all of a sudden we're like, let's do Christmas. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anybody that's ever done Christmas, and I think that was really fun to recreate and relive. You know, that would be fun to relive, and to be a part of that again. That's tough. There's a few. I mean, even Bloody Mary there was a lot of unique things about Bloody Mary that I feel like when we did Bloody Mary, we were on such a time crunch. We actually opened. I think we had to cancel our first week.
Oh wow!
Because we were so behind. Like, we got in there so late, and we were rushing so fast to get it done. And by the time we opened and it was done, like, I don't remember any of it. Like, it was a complete blur. Like, I'm like, did we just do a haunt? Did it open? I don't. What happened? I don't even remember it.
That's funny.
And I think to go back, because I think there were a lot of really cool elements that we did in that maze. I mean, I remember coming out of the real skinny choose your own black tunnels, and you come out and you had to push the brick wall to get through. And I think one of my favorites, in my head, it was visually way better than the execution, but I still even think the execution was good. But you had to pay a toll to the ferry.
That's so cool.
That actually pulled you across with the rope on the ferry boat.
That's so
cool. That was in my head. Like, that was so cool. Like, at the beginning of the haunt, they gave you tokens. And they're like, hey, you might want to hold on to these. And so when you got to the ferry, he just holds his hand out. You're like, what the fuck? And you're like, oh shit.
I got to pay.
And it's great because that guy's like, dude, I made money that night. People were just handing me all kinds of shit. People were just they're like, I don't know what to do. Let's give him some money.
Let's give him some real money.
Yeah, they're like giving him money.
He's the only one got paid tonight.
Right. But no, there were elements there that I wish I had more time to just really take in. And I think on a more connected level with a lot of my cast members and stuff like that, I miss a lot of the parties, like the lore, the masquerade parties and stuff like that. I feel that's when I feel like I threw those, even though it was open to public, I threw those as just a release for all of us as cast members to all come together and just, it was almost like a cast party, that we can just let loose and have a good time, and those were so memorable.
If I could, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if I can go back to those would be fantastic.
If I could go back to relive any Sinister Point event, I would go back to Scary Place as a cast member and just do it all over again. Just
really, I
wouldn't change nothing. I had the best.
That's what I was gonna ask. Would you change anything or no?
The only thing I would change for me personally. Well, one thing I'll tell you off mic. The only thing I would change, maybe like trying to maybe do other characters, but then I think everyone just loved me being the security guard, and I just kind of fell into that role. And I love the theme of Evil on 2. I wouldn't walk through there. Like, I was terrified of that fucking maze. I would walk through the slit in the banner of which said Scary Place, the R, and it went straight to my spot. I wouldn't go through the front.
Got it.
Because everyone will scare me. All the girls were scared. And like I'm like, nope. I would go straight to my spot. That's how much of a chicken shit I was. But I maybe just I think that's it. Just hey, I mean, like I was supposed to play the maitre d' one night, but I'm like that jacket's not gonna fit me. But I personally wouldn't change anything. It was the best experience, and it opened so many doors for me. Met so many cool people, and like after a while, some of the vets were like, "Hey man, you're doing a good job." I'm like, I've always been just worker bee. And I love doing it. And then I just found inspiration. Like there's certain music and I'll get hyped up. I'll get there early, get my makeup done, go sleep like in the dressing rooms, put on my music, get into character stretched. It's just me having that discipline, with sports and like working in the trades. It's like, hey, you got to put that hat on for X amount of time. And then once you're done, you take that hat off. And you mentioned something like how I was so quiet during my audition. I've always been reserved. I always kept to myself, and I speak when I'm spoken to. And some people find that very standoffish. They're like, this guy looks mad all the time. Seriously. No, I'm just always thinking. And I think when I was sitting there quiet, I was just observing everyone. I was like, okay, so that guy's the boss. That's his right-hand man. This is so-and-so watching this guy's audition. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to walk. I'm not a crab crawler, so I got to utilize what I have. I did that every night. Every night, I went in and did my job. I spoke to certain people. I didn't share too much. Some people I did, but I did what was expected of me. And at the same time I had fun, and I was getting paid. I'm getting paid to act like a fool. I'm like, this is amazing. It's just like, I wouldn't change nothing. It was the best experience, and just, it was fun. And like I said, it wasn't for you and everyone else. I wouldn't have a lot of opportunities. I wouldn't have, what if I would have chickened out and not auditioned?
Right.
I would have been a dude just walking through the maze, but, I would go back and I wouldn't change anything at all.
That's awesome.
Hi, boss. Well, I think I've had you on there long enough. You're a busy man, so
I've had a great time.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for everything from Scary Place to Spirit Lounge to whatever else we did together. I'm looking forward to your future projects. I do want to check out the Ghostly Retreat. Just thank you for inspiration, and I went to you for advice real quick. I went to you for advice for something, and I was like, I think I was trying to like get you to help me do it or us partner it together. And you finally
That was the movie, the festival thing, right?
The movie festival, the immersive, like kind of Christmas horror themed movie festival. I had no clue what I did. To this day, and I will brag about it, the Frida Cinema said it's the best event they've ever had.
That's awesome.
And I was like, well, you fuckers needed to pay me. Just
Right.
I went to you for advice, and I think I was trying to get little advice, maybe some help or like partner up. And you're like, you told me this. I think you should do it yourself. And if you're going to do something different, do something unique. And that stuck in my head because I had originally one theme, and they're like, well, we got a spot for a Christmas theme. And I thought about, your Christmas events. I'm like, what if we did like an immersive kind of like a spook theater, spook show, like movie marathon, but Christmas theme. And we'll bring in a facade with actors and so forth and photo ops. And no one's ever done that. They do Rocky Horror there, but it's completely different.
Right.
And I won't say certain people, but they've came in, I almost said his name. They've came in and did movie nights. And what it is, they're like, okay, we're going to get off some free stuff. We're going to watch this movie. Then we're going to do a Q&A on the stage with like the script advice from this movie. And I'm like, this is fucking boring. Everyone's doing the same shit. I'm like, what if we build this facade? We have Santa, which Donald played Santa. He's worked for you plenty of times. He played Santa. I brought all these characters, and I brought vendors, and we brought in alcohol, and we did a movie marathon, and I got sponsors and all that. I don't like you. I don't remember a damn thing. I was the first one.
It happens so quick.
It just happens. And I was running around. I didn't even get to change my clothes that day. I was the first one there.
Yeah.
I was the last one to leave. And then the next day I was the first one there, tearing all that stuff down, loading a truck, dumping all this props and everything. And then I got home. I think I slept for 2 days straight. But your advice was, if you're going to do something, do it on your own, and do it different from what everybody else is doing. And I look at it, I approach everything with that perspective now. So that's why I thank you for that.
It's awesome. I'm very glad to help.
Well, I do.
Help without helping.
Yeah, definitely inspired me. All right, boss. So I'm going to let you go. So I want to thank you for coming on. This is episode 19 with Jeff Schiefelbein. Did I pronounce that right, boss?
Yep.
Owner and operator proprietor of Sinister Pointe Productions. Thank you for coming on. I want to thank Vampang's Official for the official sponsor of the podcast, and all the folks at home listening. And that's a wrap. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, boss.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've once again barely escaped the clutches of the Creepcast with Rick Creeper. Next time, you may not be so lucky. To find out more about the Creepcast and Rick Creeper, follow Rick on Instagram at RickCreeper11. Until next time, be sure to keep that lantern light burning. You never know